Hey folks, it's the next morning, corn picking day. We're pretty much ready to go, but yesterday the M pulled a surprise on us, and one of the seals in the rams here for this Schwartz loader that's on here blew out. So it's actually the other side. This one, which you can see is all shiny and greasy, blew a seal, and the loader settled down on us. We actually went in for lunch, and when we came out, we're like, who let the loader down? Well, nobody did. It let itself down because all the hydraulic oil was coming out the top. So we are gonna take the loader off of the tractor just so we can use it to haul loads and do all the other various things that we use it for around this time of year. Typically I pull loads of corn with that. We also usually use it to move the elevator. With the front loader, we have a pinhole drilled in the loader, but since we're not planning to move the elevator, we're just going to fill the one crib. This is a good enough fix, and then we'll have to get the seals for those rams and do a little repair work when we're done here. But other than that little surprise, it looks to be a good day. Now, we've had this loader off before, but it's been years and years. And I'll tell you what, it just doesn't look right to me. Like, it reminds me of the thumb trick, you know, that you show little kids where you make it look like you're removing your own thumb by putting your two hands together. You know what I'm talking about. It seems odd. All right, so I get to play a little bit of a waiting game here while Dad makes his first round, or his first wagon fill, I guess, because then after that, if I hustle, should be able to get back with a little time maybe between each load, but not a lot. I think it's kind of interesting, the difference in the stalks. The New Idea picker has the rolling snapping rollers that lay the stalks down kind of intact almost. It just bends them over and kind of kinks them down, and it strips the ears out of the husks a little more cleanly. And then right here you can see where we had the combine, the 4-row header on the combine. That just smashes the stalks and busts them off kind of at about ankle height, shin height. So it is different, the way that the two different designs work. One other interesting observation that I guess I never really thought about that much. I mean, I heard it talked about, but it's not till you really see it in person that you understand it. But those snapping rollers on the picker waste a certain percentage of the corn, especially when the corn's dry. See the corn kernels down along the row next to the stalks? Same on the adjacent row. We can find them. A certain number of kernels gets knocked off by those rotating snapping rollers. And on the John Deere header, that has the snapping bars with the rollers underneath. And it's really kind of amazing when you look at the rows that the combine took, how little grain there is on the ground. So now this year we find ourselves in this little interesting transitional phase where we're doing both, and you can kind of compare side by side. It doesn't mean that we're going to start using the combine every year for all the corn. We don't have the storage and the drying and the facilities for that. But if we have a good dry down like we had this year, I could see it being a thing. And depending on the market price too. We're lucky to have fairly good market price right now, so to ship some of it out right out of the field is not a bad option. headlands off and opening the fields at the combine was definitely a smart move in this case, because really, like, that's the worst part of picking corn, is going down the headlands one direction and then doubling back, driving along the end of the field, and then going down again, taking 2 rows, doing that for, 6 passes, and then having to drive down some of the corn to open up the fields. I mean, it's usually like, it's slow and it's not very productive. Being able to get right into it like this, it's kind of nice, We just start the day off right away making good time. All right, I got Rod here, my cameraman. It's going to be very helpful today, I think. Haven't had him in past years. Far. That should be about right. All right, it's cold and the Alice hasn't been started yet, so if I flub this, don't judge me too harshly. Too much. Well, that's one load in. It was a cold night last night, so Alice had a hard time getting going. Probably should have warmed it up this morning earlier, but I got greedy. Tried to get it started and start unloading immediately, and that just wasn't gonna go. Yeah, I didn't want to load the load quite that full, risk overflowing, so every other one I'm gonna have to meet him at the other end of the field. And as you can see, he's waiting for me. I'm running late because I first had that wagon trying to roll away on me, and then I couldn't get the Alice to warm up as quickly as I would have liked, I guess. All right. Working on load number 3 now. I decided to take a little shortcut back through our Well, folks, it's about 4:20 here, getting later in the afternoon, and we are getting close to being done. Dad says the current strip he's on has about another load and a half, and I've got a full load right in front of me right now. 2.5 loads, I'm hoping, will fit in there, and then that'll be it for the picking. Well, my goodness, folks, we are getting on to some beautiful evening light here. The day started out sunny, got a little cloudy, and now has cleared up really nice for the evening. This is the last pass, if the plan doesn't change, and the plan has been known to change. The plan's already changed once. All right, everybody, it is actually the next morning, and I didn't get a proper wrap-up in for yesterday's corn picking. Dad and I unloaded the last couple of partial loads. He had basically a couple of short loads to finish the field, to finish the strip that he was picking. And those 2 short loads filled that crib right up to the top. I mean, it is exactly where we would normally stop filling it if we were moving on to the next crib, you know, but we weren't. So to be able to hit it is perfect, was kind of lucky. So that's our 1 crib of corn. And as I said before, if all goes well, I think that might be it for us. So at least for the corn picking. There's going to be more corn harvesting. I've got a full day ahead of me here of corn harvesting. So we will continue at it, just in a different way. However, I think this might be a good natural place to break this video. The rest of the footage I take today with combining is going to be its own thing. I know corn picking this year was kind of a lightning round, so I had one day to squeeze in as much as I could. But if you want to see kind of an extended version of our process, I did a whole series on it a couple of years ago. And, you know, on our farm, things don't change that much from year to year. So you can always look back at some of those. Same equipment, same process, same people. It's just a lesson in the cycles of agriculture, right? But anyway, for those of you who have been watching along, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. And stay tuned, because the next part is going to be coming along where I pick up with combining the rest of what's in the field and getting that loaded into the wagons and hopefully onto a truck and out of here so that we can be done with it for the year. So stay tuned for that. All right, thanks again. See you next time.